There are 246 town meeting members. 124 constitutes a quorum. The constable informs me that a quorum is present. The April 30th, 2018 special town meeting will now come to order. The clerk being absent, this meeting must elect a temporary clerk until such time as the clerk returns. I recognize Mr. Slaughter for a nomination.
I nominate Sue Audette as temporary clerk.
I've heard a motion and a second. Hearing no other nominations, I declare that the nominations closed and request that Mr. Slaughter cast a single ballot for Ms. Audette.
On behalf of town meeting, I cast a single ballot for Sue Audette.
Sue Audette has been elected temporary clerk for the April 30th, 2018 special town meeting until such time. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. I was tricked. My apologies. Here's what I meant to say. Sue Audette has been elected temporary clerk for the April 30th, 2018 special town meeting. Ms. Audette, do you swear that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of town clerk? Say I do. Before I call on the clerk to read the call and return of the meeting, I just want to apologize. Their clip-on microphones weren't working, so I'm going to be dealing with this microphone. I'm going to try and keep the sound levels good and be heard or when appropriate. If there's issues with it, it's okay to call a point of order to say you can't hear, it's too loud, but I also ask everybody to, even more so than usual, be quiet and don't talk amongst yourselves and make sure you can hear me. I don't want to have to yell, but it's going to be tricky keeping my distance just right. Enough of that. The clerk will now read the call and return of the meeting.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Special town meeting, April 30th, 2018, Amherst, Massachusetts, Hampshire, SS. To one of the constables of the town of Amherst, in said county, greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify the registered voters of the town of Amherst of the special town meeting to be held in the auditorium of the Amherst Pelham Regional Middle School in said Amherst at 6:59 o'clock on Monday, the 30th day of April, 2018, when the following articles will be acted upon by town meeting members. You are hereby directed to serve this call by posting attested copies thereof at the usual places. Hereof, fail not and make return of this warrant with your doings thereon at the time and place of said meeting. Given under our hands this 2nd day of April, 2018. Douglas Wesley Slaughter, Constance E. Kruger, Andrew J. Steinberg, Alyssa V. Brewer, James J. Wald, Select Board. April 4th, 2018, Hampshire, SS. In obedience to the within warrant, I have this day, as directed, posted true and attested copies thereof at the designated places, to wit, Tom Sarna, Constable, Town of Amherst.
Thank you. I have already been sworn in as moderator at the town clerk's office. At this point, I would like to ask all newly elected town meeting members to rise and be sworn in. Do you swear that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of town meeting member? Please answer, I do. Thank you and congratulations. I'd also like to congratulate those elected to town-wide offices. On the school committee, Allison McDonald and Kerry Spitzer. Select board, Doug Slaughter. Library, Jones Library trustees, Tamsin Eli and Austin Surratt. Housing Authority, David Williams. Redevelopment Authority, Jeff Lee. Thank you in advance for your service. It is a tradition to remember former town meeting members who have passed away since the last town meeting. There is no comprehensive list of former members, so if I've forgotten someone, please let me know and I will remember them in a subsequent session. Since we met last fall, we have lost Mary Matthews and Dick Mudgett. In addition, this spring, former moderator Harrison Gregg passed away. Mr. Gregg served as Amherst moderator for 19 years, from 1994 through 2012. He also served as president of the Massachusetts Moderators Association and was a highly respected figure throughout the state. On a personal note, Harrison was my mentor, supporter, and friend. Please rise if you are able, and let's have a moment of silence to remember our friends, neighbors, and public servants. Thank you. At this point, I usually give a schedule review of future scheduled sessions, but I'm going to hold off and give that when we begin the annual town meeting. For now, all you need to know is that the annual town meeting will begin as soon as the special town meeting is dissolved. Now, some reminders from the moderator. League of Women Voters and Town Meeting Coordinating Committee provide publications which are particularly useful for us, and they should be available on the back table if you don't already have a copy. They are Your Amherst Government, Town Meeting Handbook, They Represent You brochure, and a zoning primer, although I've heard that there are very few copies of that left. Please be sure to pick up the legal-sized unfolded printed sheet from a table in the back of the room. This is the first draft of the League of Women Voters publication, They Represent You. It is a list of elected officials in Amherst. Also pick up the sheet from the League of Women Voters that tells you how to make corrections. The League needs to know whether the information for each person is correct before final publication. If there is an error or omission in your listing, you can correct it online at the League website or fill out a correction slip and put it in the box that League of Women Voters of Amherst, put in a box that has League of Women Voters of Amherst written on the back table. Please have your corrections in by Monday, May 7th. Seating on the floor of the auditorium may be occupied only by town meeting members, except for the front row, which may be used by members of the press and by members of town committees and town staff participating in the presentation or discussion of articles. Such persons must wear non-voter stickers, which are available at the check-in table. The seats in front of me on the right are occupied by the 5 select board members, town manager, the assistant to the town manager, the finance director, the assistant town manager, the finance director, the assistant to the town manager, and IT staff. Finance committee is seated to my left. Spectators and town residents who are not town meeting members may be seated in the bleachers at the rear of the auditorium. New information for town meeting members can be found on the back table to my left, over that way. Old information can be found on the back table to my right. The Finance Committee report, which you have all received in the mail, is a valuable resource that you should take advantage of. It includes the complete town meeting schedule inside the front cover and an excellent glossary in the back. Amherst Media provides gavel-to-gavel coverage of our proceedings on Public Access Channel 17. I'd like to thank their staff and volunteers. Videos of town meeting sessions are replayed frequently and can also be viewed on the Amherst Media website. If you wish to speak, you must raise your hand and be recognized. As per our bylaw change from the fall, you must hold up a card to indicate your position. Green indicates yes, red indicates no, and a white card indicates that you wish to speak without advocacy or ask a question. However, I've also been informed that they ran out of green cards. So do I have a volunteer who has a red and white card and wants to volunteer? See if you can hold up your red and white card together so I can see both colors. Yeah. Go, hold it up so it faces me. If I see a red and a white card together, 2 hands is even better. If I see a red card in one hand and a white card in the other hand, or side by side together, I'm going to interpret that as green. Okay? I will also continue to interpret green as green. And hopefully that'll get us through this. It's a little frustrating because I found the color coding has been a valuable tool to use. But I think we'll get by. No, the whole point was there were no more green cards. Yes, you can absolutely share. So that's a great idea. Make friends with your neighbors and share. Okay, let's get back to this stuff here now. When you are called on, you must first state your name and precinct. If you forget, I will interrupt and ask you to do so. If you need more than 3 minutes or more than 5 when you are speaking to your motion, you must request additional time before speaking, and town meeting will vote on your request. If you're speaking from the floor, please speak into a microphone that will be provided once you are recognized. I assume I have my 2 microphone wranglers out here. I see one, I see the other. Good. So you must wait until the microphone shows up before you speak. This will allow viewers outside the auditorium to hear you. The microphone will be on when it is handed to you. Please hold it close to your mouth when you speak. Non-members who wish to speak should stand at the rear of the right-hand aisle, which is the aisle in front of me. Any registered voter of the town of Amherst who is recognized by the moderator may speak without special permission. Others may speak with the permission of a majority. Assisted listening devices are available for town meeting members at the soundboard in the back of the auditorium. If you're making an amendment to a motion, the amendment must be presented in writing with copies for the town clerk, the moderator, town manager and staff, and the chair of the finance committee or whichever board is seated to my left. Procedural motions, such as a motion to refer or a motion to dismiss, do not need to be presented in writing. If you're making, I'll talk about the operating budget later since we're not doing that now. If you've not already done so, please check your cell phone and make sure it is silenced or off now. I will be reasonably strict on time limits, and I always will try to call on people who have not yet spoken. If at any point you are confused about the proceedings, it is appropriate to call a point of order and ask for a clarification. It's also always okay to phone me or send me an email or see me prior to town meeting if you need an explanation of any kind. I will not call on members by name, even if I know perfectly well who you are. I will stop speakers when your time is up and ask you to finish your current sentence. I will attempt to be consistent with all speakers and equally fair or unfair to all, but I will be inclined to give some deference to board and committee members, petitioners, and town employees. We're now going to test our electronic voting devices, and hang on, I've got a script for that if I can find it. I hope I can find it. I actually don't have a script for that, so I'm going to make it up as I go along. So, your devices should already be turned on, which means you should see some numbers displayed in the little LED display. I see the number of my device. Mine happens to be 253. If your device is not turned on, press the bottom right button just once and release it, and your device should turn on. Is there anybody who does not see a readout in the LED screen? Good, everybody's okay. When we come to votes, there will be a window. There will be a time when I say it is time to vote, and you will have 30 seconds to enter your vote. You can enter either a 1, a 2, or a 3. 1 is yes, 2 is no, 3 is abstain. Abstains are not counted in the final vote. So if we need 2/3 to pass something, or a majority, the abstentions are not actually counted. We just count the yeses and the nos. Again, 1 is yes, 2 is no, 3 is abstain. During the 30-second window, you can change your vote, and you will see a readout on your screen saying what the last vote you pressed is. Sometimes at the very beginning of the voting window, it takes a couple seconds for the readout to appear on the screen, but I will always ask before the end, does everybody see their vote on their screen? So if I vote no, it should say no on my screen. Sean, can you think of anything else I need to be telling them? Because I forgot my notes on this. I think that's pretty much it. 1 is yes, 2 is no, 3 is abstain. We are now going to have a test vote, and I will tell you when the voting window opens, and you will see a timer up on the screen as well. So here's our question, yes, no, or abstain, and you have 26 seconds left to vote. If you can't read it, I think you need to move closer to the front of the auditorium. Then perhaps, I mean, my eyesight isn't that great, but I don't know. Yes, I mean, no. Okay, so we had 58 yeses, 87 noes, abstains 29. Is there anybody who did not see a readout on their screen saying that their vote was received? Anybody who did not see that readout? I mean, I don't have much to say. If you can't read it from where you are, then you're also not going to be able to read motions that are on the screen, and you're going to just have to make do. We can't make things bigger sometimes because it wouldn't fit on the screen. So we'll do our best to make things readable, but there definitely will be times they're frustrated. Oh, here's the explanation. Okay, we're going to move on now. I hear a point of order. Why don't you wait for a microphone, please?
Okay, so mine says received, but there's no yes or no.
I'm
above-
sorry?
Mine says received, but there's no yes or no above it.
It would be really.
Yeah.
Can we? Yeah, we're going to run it again to see if yours works. And somebody who is working, why don't you watch her and see if she's. So wait, can't vote yet. You got to wait until you see the clock starting. Okay, try it now. And wait, you have to wait a couple seconds. Okay, now good, we're all set. Why don't you just kill this off? So I have one other small statement I'm going to read, then we're going to hear some comments from town council, and then we're going to dive into Article 1. It's been a difficult year for Amherst politics. For some, it is now an optimistic time of new beginnings. For others, it is a disappointing time of sad endings. I would like to remind all of you that the responsibility of town meeting is still to do what we were elected to do, which is to discuss and vote on the articles that are before us. As we debate and vote, I urge all town meeting members to remember that all parties have the best interest of the town at heart, and all opinions and all speakers must be listened to with respect. I now call on Town Council, Mr. Bard, to make some comments to the meeting. Sure.